Are you ready?
For live.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
This live
Are you
talk.
ready?
Live
Are you
talk.
ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Live talk.
For the word of the day, the knowledge and the wisdom will increase your faith. Are you ready? For live talk,
Yeah.
because it's about time to set it off. Are you ready?
Let's go.
For the word of the day, the knowledge and the wisdom will increase your faith. Are you ready? For live talk,
Yeah.
because it's about time to set it off.
Live talk. This live talk. Live. Living in vital energy. The universal language spirituality. Living in vital energy. The universal language spirituality. We're going all the way live with it. With live talk, increase your mentality, put away carnality, and increase your spirituality. Let's
you
go.
ready?
Live talk.
Are you ready?
This live talk.
Are you ready?
Live talk.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Live talk.
For the word of the day, the knowledge and the wisdom will increase your faith. Are you ready? For live talk, because it's about time to set it off. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready? All right. Greetings and welcome to Live Talk. I am your host, Arthur Jeremiah, alongside my co-host, the minister, Samuel.
Welcome back to Live Talk.
All right. So first and foremost, we're gonna go into our general statement, and then our disclaimer. Live Talk is proudly powered by TBS Goodwill, Builders of the Highway Foundation, and Men of Purpose. Together, we're bringing awareness to the everyday challenges facing individuals, communities, and our nation. We tell our stories, listen to yours, and always respect different perspectives. Want to share your voice? Email us at livetalkorlando or livetalkorl@gmail.com to be a guest. Or if you would like to contribute to our mission purpose, go to livetalkorl.com. Our disclaimer. The information provided during this event and others to come does not constitute the official opinion of Live Talk or its affiliate entities. It is strongly recommended that viewers seek independent expert advice regarding any topics discussed, as legal requirements differ significantly across jurisdictions and are subject to frequent changes. If you have questions or concerns, you can always email us again at livetalkorl@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Facebook and Instagram at Live Talk Orlando. Notice I'm going to record that next time. That's a lot.
That would be an excellent idea. Now that I just heard that.
Yes, indeed. So, my brother, how are you? It's been what, a couple of weeks, and
Couple of weeks, feeling wonderful. Even though we're on solar time, we respect that we're in 2024, which is a new fiscal year. Always looking to bring things into perspective and always do things better than we did before.
Right. We stay in that line of decently and in order at the same time. So we're coming into a new calendar year. We try to say calendar year.
Thank you. I'm sorry, calendar year. See, I'm thinking taxes.
Excuse me. So no, that's a wonderful thing. When we think about new, we think about new things, and we always think about it growing and increasing in every area of function of our lives. So Live Talk is one of those entities or industries, if you will, that's going to start that growth, and we're looking to do some great things as we go into this new calendar year. All right, so with that being said, let us give you just a rundown of the show today. First and foremost, we'll have the minister word of today. Right after that, we'll go to a short commercial break, and then we'll come back with our main topic. The main topic today is mind, body, and soul. We'll be exploring holistic health and wellness with our guest today. We look forward to that, Brother Jah-son. And then right after that, we'll go to a commercial break, and we may come back with some community news. I'm thinking what we're going to be doing today, it may take us through that. That's going to be a part of our community news today. But right after that, we'll have a motivational quote by the host, and we'll be concluding from that point there. So, Minister, what's the word of today?
All right. Inspired. The word of the day is going to be vision inspired. Mostly, well, partly or mostly because of our guest today, we're going to use the word vision. And vision, by definition, is the power to see. It is the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. Vision is also defined as the power of anticipating that which will or may come to be, a mental picture. Vision is something seen in a dream, a trance, or ecstasy, especially a supernatural appearance that conveys a revelation. And a few synonyms of vision are sight, idea, conceive, picture, and imagine. And of course, one of my favorite quotes on vision comes from the scriptures found in Proverbs 29:18. And it states, where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he.
Happy is he. We're going to be talking about a lot of that. We're going to talk about the law, the universal law, vision. When we think about vision, in my opinion, you touched on a lot of stuff, the insight and the revelation, the divine guidance. It all leads to our purpose, you know, and our purpose is given to us by the Most High God, which we say, we call him Yahweh in that sense. So we are going to be getting into a lot of that today. We look forward to our guest coming on. You know, he's going to be sharing a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. As you can see in front of us, a lot of things that he provides to his clients and to us, man, to keep us whole and healthy, man. So right after this commercial, we'll be bringing in our special guest. So we'll be right back.
What do all these people have in common besides a beautiful smile, healthy teeth, and gums? They all use Zadi toothpaste. Zadi toothpaste is made with all natural ingredients. Zadi toothpaste is fortified with moringa and baking soda. Zadi toothpaste is suds-free, making it an excellent choice for kids. All natural, fortified, and suds-free. Get yours today at noystore.com.
All right, welcome back to Live Talk. Like was mentioned before, we are live here with our special guest. And Minister, would you love to do the honors in introducing our guest today?
It would be a pleasure. And it's just a little technical note. Yes. Get our camera in tune, because sometimes my camera like to think on its own, like to move when you move. So I'm gonna try not to do too much talking with my hand. But yeah, I look forward to starting this show off. As you can see, we have an array of products at our table. And behind them, a lot of times you can advertise products, but when they have a spiritual meaning behind them and it's healing, it's like something that's simple. We can take water for granted, but we really should not take water for granted. So that's how deep this conversation can get. So it's like today we have the pleasure of introducing a minister of holistic health and wellness. Our brother is a motivator, an edutainer. Now, I want you to be noteful. I did not say entertainer. I said edutainer, because though he entertains you through education. And we'll probably talk a little bit about that as we get deeper. But our guest today is an oncologist, a histographer, a metaphysician, a numerologist, a phonetic spirit, and Reiki master.
Mm.
He also is a musician, a poet, a writer, an aerospace engineer, and I could go on, but most notably, I would say he's a father and a husband and a lover of the truth. So again, it is our pleasure to introduce to you the founder of Third Eye Visions Unlimited, Minister Montego L. Zakamali Bey, who lovingly is known to most of us as Brother Jah-son. So, Brothers Jah-son, welcome to Live Talk.
Thank you. Thank you for
Welcome,
having me
welcome.
here. Thank you, my brothers, for allowing this opportunity to even present this information to your audience.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for the warm welcome. And we just, give thanks to the Most High, as you say, the Yahweh.
Yes,
You got to walk the Yahweh, right? Recognize Allah governs
Yes.
all events, and that we are here to fulfill our purpose. So thank you for allowing me to come here to just offer the services that I bring for to uplift humanity, one family at a time.
Well, the thing is, you got to jump in with me, but
No, go ahead, sir.
it's like, and I know Brother Jah-son for years, and I know he has a wealth of knowledge. Like a lot of times when you give people accolades, you want to introduce them, but his is well earned. And personally, I don't know how many years you've been studying, but I know it's been decades, and that's being probably on the conservative side. But it's like with Third Eye Visions, no one can tell their story better. So I want you to give us a little background of who you are, what you do, and just share some of your story.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. First, I want to say that the information presented here is not meant to be, as we say, for medicine. We don't practice medicine. We don't cure anything. As well as the information we give is based on universal law. We don't give legal advice to those who seek that. We need to seek that out from the appropriate practitioners. We're not practicing anything. We're just giving what's been passed down through indigenous practice for thousands, if not millions of years. So I, as some people refer to me as the crazy child. I get that growing up a lot, and I maintain that crazy child because that inner child keeps you learning. It keeps the ego in check. It keeps you always willing to reinvent yourself, or as I say, invent myself. I'll be using certain terms today to show you part of the phonetic spirit. I tap into the phonics of words and bring forth the spiritual connotation. So that's been one of my gifts. I was born with the third eye open. It has not been necessarily an easy journey because you see things differently. And sometimes when you try to impart that on the general populace or the population, even your closest relatives, they may not understand.
Right.
So I grew up in the island where the Jamaica company does business. They call it Jamaica. My mom was there when she gave birth to me.
Okay.
And I was blessed, as they would say, to grow up in a family that's connected to the earth. There was indigenous family, 5th generation farmers. I grew up between the area they call St. James and in the hills of Westmoreland.
Wow.
Okay. And it's the western part of Moreland for a reason. It's the westernmost parish.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll get into that, how I see maps. I can read a map. Maps have a way of revealing information. And I've used that throughout my entire journey. Now I'm on my 52nd trip around the sun. Still tripping and having fun, as I like to say. Keep on tripping and having fun. You start off as a ball, right? And then your mom gets pregnant, you get a bigger ball, and then you come out the ball, and then you're on this ball having a ball. So we never end up in a box. You're never in a box. You've always been on the ball. I let that sink in for a reason, because people think they're boxed in all the time. It's about perception. Vision was the word of the day. And if we can only open up our third eyes so we can see the unlimited visions of ourselves, we can then experience the unlimited you. That's why we made that our slogan, our action, a verb, action word for our ministry. Experience the unlimited you. Do you know that you're connected to an unlimited source? Do you know what purpose you came from that unlimited source? As they say, we're source experiencing itself. I am a thought, therefore I am. I was thought of, and then I became. That is part of the journey. So as I went through life growing up on that island, I learned divine principles of family, heritage, legacy, nature, living without electricity, running water, indoor plumbing for 7 years, growing all your own food, raising all your own animals. I learned that from my family. That's part of the legacy, the history I'm carrying forward now to the world, because it was passed down to me. It was bequeathed to me at birth. I was birthright, not birth wrong. So you claim your birthrights.
Yes.
Come on home, all the prodigal sons and daughters. Your birthright awaits at home, not out there in the wilderness. So that's how I would talk about my upbringing, my background, and then we can go into more details from there.
So the third eye vision. So we see that all this here, you've been grounded in this knowledge and information. So what made third eye vision? How did now you have all this knowledge? When did you institute third eye vision?
So great question. As I moved I've lived in various countries from early. So I got to be exposed to different cultures, nations, different ways things move. When I was about 5, I was brought to Toronto, Canada to be with my dad. I lived there for about 9 months. Then eventually I had to go back to Jamaica for a while, to the island, back to Montego Bay, then went to live with my grandmother, my father's mother, at the age of 7 until 14. So I was always sharing information from early. My family would tell you, he was the boy that said crazy things. I would come up and tell him different things that we were doing. I got and fell in love with the herbs, the natural healing, swimming naked in the river and the ocean. My mom gave me back to the sea at 30 days out the womb. She said a rash came up on my skin, and the elder women with the head wraps would advise her what to do from the time she was pregnant with me. So she always listened to them. And one of them told her, take him to the ocean. So she took me to the ocean naked, put me in the ocean in a beach they call Cornwall Beach. I actually grew up on a beach. My mom worked there as a second job. So she would take me to the ocean with her when she didn't have a babysitter. And the lifeguards actually raised me. They would put me on their back and swim a mile out to the buoy and have me on the buoy out there, rocking back and forth. And so I was literally like a fish. I could swim like Flipper when I was at the beach every day from birth till about 3. I spent more time in the ocean than I did inland. My first 4 years of my life. I grew up climbing sea grape trees and almond trees at the ocean and just playing while my mom worked, and the lifeguards would look over me. So I had a strong affinity and a connection to water. So, later I would be in the water business. It's just divinely ordered. And then when I was not at the ocean in St. James, I was in Lamb's River, Westmoreland. I lived where there were many rivers. And so we were still around water. I'm talking lots of rivers. We grew up swimming in the rivers, cooking by the side of the river, catching crawfish and making, our version of gumbo right there on the riverside. And so that connection then led me to recognizing that what they were referring to as the site was called Third Eye Visions Unlimited. So I decided to actually name the things what I was already doing. It's not some name I made up or looked into. Some people, when they're starting a business, they're trying to find a catchy name. I literally use exactly what I'm doing. I recognized that I already had an unlimited vision connected to the unlimited source. So I use that very skill as the name, Third Eye Visions Unlimited, just like I use Phonetic Spirit or Jah-son, which could be Ya-son, Jehudi, Ma'at Ra'an, or Divine Justice and Balance Shining Bright, because you have a light within you. And my job is to carry that light like a torch before the Olympics and keep lighting the other torches or the other flames. So that's how the name came about.
Okay. And since we have this name, what is the mission in the vision? Because now we have this name, we came up with this name, and it's all based on our upbringing and the information that's been around us. We have inculcated all this information. We have Third Eye. What's the mission? What's the vision?
So the mission of Third Eye Visions Unlimited is to help people help themselves recognize their connection to mind, spirit, and body. Okay, so we deal with the mental issues. A lot of people will say mental health awareness is a catchphrase now, but they don't realize,
Yes.
recognize, realize.
Mm.
They don't realize that the first mental health issue you're having is not knowing who you are and why you came in the first place. See, we deal with foundational issues like building a pyramid or a house. The first thing you put down is a foundation. A lot of people are addressing the roof and they're addressing the kitchen cabinets, like your foundation. Why are you even here on planet Earth? Number one. Our consultations start there for a lot of people. I break it down to their name, their numerology, what it can help them, guide them in, and how to figure out your purpose. Because if you never find your purpose, you will never be at peace. You'll never feel truly fulfilled. You can have $1 billion, 5 houses, 10 cars, a private jet, and still be hooked on drugs and an alcoholic. We have people who are millionaires jumping out of windows, committing suicide. And someone may ask, well, why is that? Because they didn't figure out their purpose. They chased everything else. That's the prodigal story. You're busy out in the world chasing what's already bequeathed to you at birth. You were born with a mission statement. And until you know that and fulfill that, no amount of materials, no amount of drugs, sex, alcohol, anything else you want to do will ever fulfill you. So the first thing we address is, why are you here? The who, what, where, when, why, and how. You know, the basics they teach you in school. Answer all these. If you don't know that, you might as well hang it up. So this is what our mission statement, to help each person figure that out, then put practical, proven measures in place with an executable plan to accomplish that. That's the goal for each and every one. If we can help 1 million people a year around the world achieve this, that would be super. So we want families that are suffering from diseases and disorders, whether it be mental, physical, spiritual, to utilize our services, our experiences, our research, and our proven methods to implement these in their homes so you can start living your full life, your mission statement, your purpose. And then out of that, secure your family, leave a legacy in place, because health is really wealth. There was a famous quote about Steve Jobs dying on his deathbed, saying that if he could do it all over again, he would swap out all the billions of dollars for health. Now that's significant coming from one of the so-called greatest minds and innovators and entrepreneurs of our last decades, the founder of Apple. Now,
Accumulated all that paper.
Correct. Now, being a Third Eye Visions Unlimited, being a phonetic spirit, I would say, isn't that interesting? Because biting of an apple represents wisdom. His logo represents a bite taken out of an apple, as they call Newton's apple. So for the founder to say at the end, I wish I would have bitten out the health part more seriously. Out of everything else that I've accomplished, health, he realized health was his true wealth. At the end, on his deathbed, he said he had to live it all over again. He would trade in almost every dollar to get an extra day, extra month, an extra 5 years. So let that be the apple of the eye, as they say. The apple of the eye. The vision is that your health at the end of the day is what's most important to you. As I like to laugh around and say, nothing you own should shine more than you. You should outshine all your other things. Why? Because the one thing required to be in your future is you.
That's true.
That's the mission statement.
You're giving so many nuggets. It's like, I don't know where I want to jump in and stop.
It's like a jump rope. Just jump in.
It's because it's see the third eye division. You talked about, first of all, you said something about raised and coming off the land. Most people not conscious that food comes from the land. And to be able to see that and understand it, and then it's like we live in a society, like we're talking third eye. See, you discovered yours at a young age.
Yes.
But we, especially in Western culture, we go to sleep. So we got 2 eyes is closed. So the third eye is see, they, and you probably can share some on this. They create a monster and call him a cyclops. Put an eye in the middle of his head and turn it into a monster. So it puts a negative connotation on there.
Excellent.
So even if you begin to approach like hypothalamus, or you start studying, they put this negative stigma that it's something monstrous, when that's the first vision, is where it should, like you say, the foundation. But they done twisted that around and make it seem like it's evil, when that's the total opposite.
Correct. And I'll, this is the way I like to explain it. On a physical level, they refer to the third eye as a pineal organ, which is supposed to be one of the most important organs in the body. It's not just a gland.
Yep.
It is the so-called gateway. At night when you go to sleep, your spirit exits you. Because you have a spiritual body that's attached to this physical body, what we call an earth suit. Okay, when you decide to come to this university, Earth campus, Mother Nature sews this uniform for you based on the dimensions given to her by your father or your mother. Them 23 chromosomes come together to make 46 is what determines this. This is your uniform that you wear on campus. But you are first a spirit, divine spirit, wearing a body, not the other way around. You're not a body with a spirit. You're a spirit with a body. The third eye can be compromised by a lot of the chemicals that we're using, like fluoride. Helps to calcify the pineal. So one of the things we help our clients do is recognize the chemicals that they're putting in their bodies, knowing or unknowingly, that are actually deteriorating and causing them to not be living their full potential. Now, on another level, the third eye is the insight. That's the eye that looks within. What do you see with when you close your eyes? Because when you close your eyes, you still see visions. You're dreaming at night in high definition, Technicolor, HD.
But your eyes are closed.
So which eye are you using? I like to tell people I see with the third eye, I listen with the third ear, and I speak in tongues. I mean, when you're having a conversation with yourself, what ear are you using to listen to those words? You still hear yourself talking to you. What are you using to listen at? That's the third ear. You see? So those are the fundamentals that we have to get down, packed. So this is the key. The chemicals you're using, the music, the miseducation, the cyclops. So the miseducation system, quote unquote, demonizes the things that you should be actually focusing on. Even though they come out with a movie called Monsters, Inc. And the savior in the Monsters, Inc. is a green circle with a single eye.
Yep.
And that movie was based on doorways to other dimensions, visions, because a doorway is Windows software, Windows,
Access.
Right? A preview, a vision. So the same thing. So when you're accessing these different portals, these different dimensions, you're using the third eye. So they took the little green savior with the third single eye and called the movie Monsters, Inc. It's a very interesting movie. They sometimes sell a lot of things to children that really are for adults. If you ever go, once you find out some of the information I share, you go back and read all of these, what they call nursery rhymes, they'll make a whole lot more sense to you. 3 Little Pigs and 7 Dwarfs, 7 Chakras, and Goldilocks. What happens when you get the crown open and you get the halo? When you answer the call, when you become what they call sanctified, you get a saint. All saints got a ring of light glowing yellow around your locks. So they're telling you about the 7 chakras and the Goldilocks, the 7 dwarfs and Sleeping Beauty. And these are actually adult themes, but they program you when you're a child, because you're sponge-like and you're going to absorb it. And then later on, we can discuss it on a much higher level, because there's at least 7 levels of information in every book that you get.
So I'm taking a look here. This is just some of the material that you have on the table as far as the pamphlet. I'm pretty sure you'll be sharing what you have here. But one of the services you offer is the 7-day cleaning, right?
Correct.
Now, is that something that you have on the table right now?
Yes, some of our products for the 7-day cleanse. We offer different natural herbal pharmaceuticals. Once again, from nature's law. These are not medicine. You don't need a prescription or a prescript written up for you. We deal in food, as we tell people, because they are actually natural food. We don't use any binders, fillers, or anything that's altered in any of the products. We have 118 of them online. These are just a few that we happen to have in hand to show the people today. The cleanse kit is one of the best ways of naturally removing toxins. If you've been committing sins against yourself, as they say, The mouth is a pathway to heaven or hell.
Or hell.
That's
it.
why there's a forked tongue.
Right.
Two doors.
You see? So one of the ways we help you to heal is to provide natural herbal pharmaceuticals. This is the actual instructional flyer that you have in your hand that tells you how to utilize our cleanse kit. It's really 23, 24 days, but they give it to you in 3 sevens. As you know, 7 is a divine number. So Trinity is also a divine number. 3 times 7 is 21. It takes 21 days to make or break a habit. If you can stop doing something for 21 days, you've proven to yourself you don't ever need to do it again. Likewise, if you can start doing something for 21 days, you've proven that you can continue that for life. So if we can get you up in the morning exercising for 21 days, there's no excuse to stop. If we can have you stop smoking cigarettes for 21 days, you don't need to start on the 22nd day, ever. You've proven that you're disciplined enough. Because that Trinity, again, is dealing with the 3 eyes. It's always dealing with the pineal, the hypothalamus, and the pituitary. The 3 glands, master glands in the mind, in the brain. Or we're dealing with mother, father, and child. The Trinity always shows up. So this product is all natural. It's been around since 1976. You'll see that on the back with New Body, which is founded by Dr. Goss. I work with Dr. Goss. Dr. Goss is also the foremost iridologist. I got my certification for iridology. That's analyzing the body through your eyes through him back in 2010. March will be 14 years since I got certified in that. And once again, the eyes are the windows to the soul. We're talking about vision. Iridology is actually a profession dealing with vision. That whole practice. So they can utilize this. This is available at our website. We've shipped this all over the world. We have clients as far as Botswana. I mean, our Third Eye Visions is a portal for our nonprofit or not just for the profit organizations, that I like to say, because we're not just in it for the money. So we call it a not just for the profit organization.
Not just for the profit.
Right.
However.
See, y'all here. You see, that's the topic.
That's
Just so you know
true.
me, I love to talk about money.
That's right.
See, because but the
And
other,
there's nothing wrong with that.
nothing wrong with money.
Yes.
But when you take fairy tales and they profit and then pervert it, see, that's perversion.
Correct.
But when you take the truth, you should be able to profit, because
Correct.
Steve Jobs, wish he had it, and he had all the money,
Correct.
but he wasn't fulfilled.
No.
So see something, but if his foundation had been right,
That's it.
he could have been complete.
Yeah.
See, part of it say you're a holistic teacher. That's what people, what the scriptures say. What does it profit a man to
Gain the whole world.
gain the whole world but lose his own soul?
There we go.
And people miss. And see, one thing I love about you, and we people have done this. It's like it's meant to bring about. We call it division or Satan or Lucifer. It's about dividing. But when we unify and we become one, we have so much in common. And when we bring those commonalities together, it's limitless of what we can do. But if you don't know your purpose and you don't have a foundation, you start off making mistakes. Like you say, if you're on the ball, you're making mistakes from the beginning, which is why we now have a society where you have children as teenagers, and they got high blood pressure and they got sugar diabetes and they preteens.
I'm telling you.
And see, it's so many, like when you talk about the Father, the Son, and the Holy, people get, they taught us the spooky part of that, like speaking in tongues. And I don't want to make fun of anybody, but
No.
how is it gonna educate me if you saying words that mean nothing? But when speaking in tongues makes sense, like when you understand the 7, it's talking about 7 spirits or that pineal gland, when that eye. Now, when you're speaking in those kind of tongues and it makes sense, you're beginning to get some healing.
That's right.
But that foundation has to come from knowing, and it begins. See, so you have a unique way of, like phonetics. We have a tendency of messing up words. This English language messes up words.
Correct.
But it's our job, and you do an excellent job of, pointing that out and bringing it into a focus.
That's right.
And it's just, it's like I don't know where to stop, I don't know where to begin.
No, but you
just
did
go with
point
the
out-
flow.
You
We just
did
let it
point out
flow.
some great stuff. I mean,
We just let it flow.
like when we talk about phonetics, like we talk, and to your point, brother, you do. And I'm one, if if you listen to me, oftentimes the English language is foreign to me. So when it comes to just breaking down words and really understanding words, I think you have really dig deep into that. That's more of a divine, revelation, approach to life. Like you say, people always found you to be strange in a way, but we always look at that as innate intelligence, and oftentimes we don't have that innate intelligence, like my brother was alluding to. They have dumped us down with all this other crap. So the innate intelligence that we get naturally from the Most High, it has dissipated in a way, and we're too caught up on what's going on in the world. But you bring a different light. So when your clients come to you, what are you starting them off with? What are you sharing with them?
Okay, great.
Can I say this before I forget it?
Go ahead.
Forget it.
Go ahead.
See, and I be careful when I say this. I'm sure you all understand it, but our audience, when we talk about the Most High, we call him Yah. And your name is Jah-son. See, part of dumbing us down is to disconnect us from the Most High. But you accepted who you are. See, so your name means son of the Most High. Like Jah-son is son of Yah, son of the Most High. So that means he has a door and an access to the Most High, and he can share that with you. Because we talk like for example, the Most High is the sun. If you want to look at it from the sun, but the sun is not. It don't distinguish itself when it shares its light. See, so you have the ability to share that light, but it don't diminish your light. It just light up other lights.
That's right.
So, like, we as a people, Black people, we got more high blood. Why are we dying from high blood pressure? Why are we sick from diabetes? And you offer solutions to this. Why is it happening so much to us?
Excellent.
And then we don't have an answer. Or we want to go try to get medicine, and then it's too late almost for the medicine by the time you figure it out. So now, like Steve Jobs, you on your deathbed. But can you share something like why are we so sick?
Okay, excellent. Man, you touched on quite a few things, both of you. All right, so
I want to talk about Jah-son because you got a powerful name.
People
take that for granted.
And the thing about it,
some people might take
some
that
people,
for granted.
like we like to say.
and we just got so many questions for you, brother.
And that's fine.
But that is to
I'm
your
here to
point,
take 'em.
Jah-son, and just understanding that. But start on which one of the questions you would like to.
That's fine. I will handle it this way. The solutions are always here. But just like anything else in life, there's waves and patterns. Things rise and fall. So we've gone through a decline of certain natural information because of attack by those who wanted to profit from the removal of that natural information, even though they're still profiting from it. So I'll give you some insights. We're familiar with something called a witch hunt, right? Salem witch hunt, all kinds of witch hunts and warlocks were burnt at the stake and their information was taken. Now, when you come to find out that the word witch means someone who's wise in the natural ways, or warlock, they were taking people who knew how to use the herbs for the healing of the nation. All holy books say that. Okay. I studied the 8 major religions of mankind in college. That was a class I took early, a humanities elective. And one of the reasons I did that, because I knew my mission was to bring this information to all corners, all over the globe. And I was going to meet people from every background. So I wanted to be able to address them on some foundational level, be able to relate. So I studied all the major religions. And all those books have more in common than what's separate. That's what's amazing. Yet they have people fighting all over the world over so-called religious belief. So if you recognize that the herbs are for the healing, they took the natural herbs. They would brew these herbs up in a pot, bringing together what they call alchemy. We were alchemists. And then you would figure out the right combination, because even though something is natural, just because it's natural, it may still unalive you.
Potent.
You have to know how to use it. And so when they killed these people and burnt their so-called books, most of which, by the way, are in some Vatican library underground somewhere,
Hidden.
and they then took the symbol of the alchemy, the symbol of the very pot with the big spoon, and they made that their logo. They put a wall around the greens. They want to put a wall between you and the greens, but they call themselves Walgreens.
Mm.
And they have the pot.
See the words we're talking about?
And they have the pot as their logo today.
Mm.
The same pot that they took from the witches and warlocks they burnt is now their logo. Okay, so words, we say salam. All right, assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam. So there's no place called Salem, Massachusetts. It's called Salem, Massachusetts. So who you think they were burning in Massachusetts?
That was us.
Every state has a Salem. Salem, Alabama, Salem, Mississippi. Okay, there's no Salem in North Carolina, where they talk about the tobacco central. Salem, North Carolina. No, there's no Salem, North Carolina, where you get your Marlboros and all your cigarettes from. Salem. So that's just giving you another word. The words are here. The solutions are here. People drive. Some don't know. They honestly don't know. They've never been taught. Others know. And for some reason, the ice is always colder on the other side. Even though it freezes at 32 degrees everywhere.
Yep.
It just seems colder on. They'll drive past the herbs.
Yes.
People will go to Home Depot, get them some Roundup, and try to kill the very herbs in their yard. They got dandelion growing in their lawn. And no, this is a weed. I have to get rid of this. No, there's a reason why the Creator is sending dandelion to you. You're actually supposed to take that up and learn how to fix that, because we offer dandelion as one of our herbs for cleansing and purification. Okay. So we deal with the solutions. When someone comes to me, the first thing I do, they usually do a consultation. That's number one. Why? At least an hour. Some people may need 2 or 3 because they have a lot to unpack. They have years of bad eating, many surgeries. They're on 12 different medications. They're committing medicines and getting punishments.
Yep. Medicine.
Stop.
Medicine. Y'all heard? Hear the word?
You see, right? They are trying to diss the ease. You're meant to be at ease, at flow. You're meant to be in law. You're meant to be in order. There's an order to the universe, order to the way we go around the sun, the order to the way your cells divide. There's a universal order we call all law. Everything is functioning on a law or a formula. Okay? So when you diss the law, you don't want to be in order. You end up with a disorder. You diss the ease, you end up with dis-ease. So if you come back home and be in the flow, get in the know, get in the flow. Stop be-lie-even. You said believe. So Eve is the name they give to the mother, which was a Sar, and then, the Holy Mary, as they would call her, right? The Virgin. So they changed the name Eve. Well, if you belie to Eve, you end up far from her, which is nigh Eve. Nigh means go nigh, go nither, go long. I was reading they gave me the Bible, the book of instructions before leaving Earth, Bible. I figured it out. Now, by the time I was 2, I was reading fluent King James Version. I read early. Words, I was a ferocious reader. When I would ask questions and the adults wouldn't tell me what to do, that was divine. It made me a very good researcher, so I had to go look things up myself. So I've always been researching. I used to have 2 library cards. If this library didn't have it, I went to the other library across town. And so that's part of the foundation. You're asking, how did I come up with this information? First part of it was innate, because the elders would always say, he's just different. He's an old man in a small body. He's an old soul. They say he's like a full grown man, even though he's this high. And I also sat at the foot of elders. So when I was 6, 7, I was living with my grandmother. She was about 68, 70. And I would run errands for all. Before DoorDash, I did all the door and the dashing in the yard. I was Yard Dash. We had yards back then. I was the Yard Dash. And so I would run errands for all the elders. At 8, I sat at the foot of 80-year-olds. At 9, I sat at the foot of 90-year-olds. They were on the rocking chair on the veranda. And they would tell me stories about, they would always say, young man, when I was your age. That's how a lot of the stories start. And so they're telling me what life was like for them when they were 8, and they're now 88. And I'm 8, learning. So they passed down a lot of information to me So aside from what's innate, I was taught by the elders, and then therefore I passed that information on. So living in the hills with a cleanest latrine in town, had to polish the latrine floor. Get up at the crack of dawn, 4:30, 5 o'clock, you're bathing outside in the wash pan under the moonlight. All my 16 hens and 2 roosters come down and surround me. This is the kind of person you're dealing with. So when I landed in New York in 1987 and realized people didn't have a connection to the earth, I took the ministry fully in about June of 87 in the streets of Brooklyn, Crown Heights, to the people and started educating them on what is nature, what's universal law, what's food, what's not. Most people eating fool and think they're eating food. And the system is designed to make you a public fool. They have a public fool system, not a public school system. Their job is to miseducate you, so you end up either at the butcher or the pusher. I call them butchers or pushers. They both wear white coats. You ever been to a butcher shop and see the guy in the white coat just sawing away at a ham leg? Or yeah, you can see the same thing at a surgical room near you. There'll be a guy in a white coat and you're sawing something off. It's the same design, just one has, first they try to push something on you. If that doesn't work, they'll eventually be cutting you at some point. So we have to learn to get out of that rhythm, get out of that way of living, recognize you are divinely made. The same way you mess it up, you can clean it up. You mess it up putting things in your ears, your eyes, and your mouth, and the other holes in your body. So we can also cleanse those and have you release all the toxins, and the body will then heal itself. Every 7 years, you have a brand new skeleton. Did you know that? Now imagine if your body can replace every bone, every cell in your bone every 7 years, what else can it not replace? Your liver is one of the organs. You can cut 60% of your liver off, 66% of your liver off, and it'll grow it back like a lizard's tail. That organ is called a liver. I want to be a liver, a long liver.
Right.
So you can regenerate.
If you feed it right.
That's right. So that's why we use a cleanse kit. We use the different herbs. So you go to a consultation. We figure out what your situation is. We customize it to you because each person is different. Some people come to us. They want to lose 50 pounds, or they want to get off of medication, or they want to avoid surgery, or they just want to look better. We have couples that are infertile. We help them to become fertile. We help you to find a midwife, a doula. We can help you create a spiritual birth plan, like I did for my daughter, that we served on Winnie Palmer at the time, and she's never been vaccinated. She's 12 in our entire life. We can help you to protect your rights, your indigenous rights, because you are birthed with rights, your birthright. So you want to know how to protect those as well, because you may be coming under attack from institutions that are trying to take those rights away from you, and how to recognize that you are part of, you want to walk the Yahweh,
Be free.
right? You want to walk according to Allah and not be, because you can't serve 2 masters. You're going to have to pick one. And that in that action comes your divine protection. When you pick one, you can't straddle the fence. So I made that decision a long time ago that I was going to walk this way, talk this way. You see, and they say you free your mind and the rest will follow.
Talk about a little bit, because you mentioned something. You said everybody's different. Explain to the audience, in your opinion, what makes certain people different, and so when they come to you, you may advise a different approach and how to get them to that wellness.
Okay, great. When someone comes, let's say they are different in the way they approach life. First, we assess your mentality. Notice I start with mind, spirit, and body. First is your mentality. Are you a cold turkey type of person, as they call it? Can you just quit tomorrow, or do you need 60-day plan laid out for you? I can quit it tomorrow and never look back. March will be 21 years, no animal flesh, no dairy, no nothing. I quit today, never look back. You could sit right here and eat anything you want in front of me. It doesn't faze me. Once I make up my mind, it's followed through by my behind. Done. That's it. So that's me. So the personality is the first thing we assess. Then we see, where are you in your lifestyle? And also, what coping mechanisms do you have around you? Do you live with someone? Are you in charge of your food? Is someone else cooking for you? Are you the one shopping at the groceries? What, are you in a commanding position? Can you dictate what's going to happen in your environment? Yes or no? That's the next thing. What discipline mechanisms do you have? Are you the type of person to stick with it, or are you gonna start and 3 days later you're gonna quit for 7 days and come back for 3 days and quit for 7 days and come back? These are what we want to know. Out of that will come a plan, and then also what other circumstances are you dealing with? Where are you on your health scale? Are you just got out the hospital yesterday? We get clients like that. Someone's calling me, I just got released. This is what they're telling me. Someone gave me your number, and they're reaching out. Or they're more proactive. The doctor is telling me I'm borderline diabetic, but I don't have it yet. They haven't put me on anything, and I want to get it dealt with before it becomes a problem. I don't want anyone to even be on insulin. So that's what I mean by it's customized based on where you are, where you're coming from. I had a young lady says, my fiance and I, we're getting married, and I want to get my body in shape because we're planning to have a baby. Okay, now I can help you. She's being proactive. Right. I get a lot of women on the opposite end who have fibroids, cysts, tumors, all kinds of issues. Now I'm helping them to clean up on the back end. Our fibroid buster kit is one of the #1 sellers in the world. We ship that all over the world too. We've had repeat clients in Botswana for that product. A lot of women are suffering with fibroids, tumors, cysts, endometriosis, blocked tubes, very heavy menstrual cycles. They're hemorrhaging 7, 8, 9 days, like they're caught in a drive-by shooting. This is not natural. So we show them how to come back in tune with the natural laws and start enjoying life again.
All right. To my listening audience, we are live here with our dear brother, Jah-son. I will at this time, if anybody want to chime in that's out there, you want to chime in, you have a question or anything for our dear brother, he's here. He's open. It's the best time to catch him. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you coming on to the show and being able to provide, just to show forth a lot of the things that you're doing. So we have here what we have here.
Get some free consultation. I want to say something. I heard it because it's just so many nuggets that when you talked about the healing, and some missed it, but I heard it. You said about what you put in your body, and most people, a lot of us don't realize that what you eat is a problem, but it's not just what you put in your mouth. You mentioned what you see, what you hear, all them orifices, and it's like to be a holistic. And I want to be candid because if you want to help people, you can change your diet, and I have changed my diet. Yet, if you don't be holistic, that's right, you can still have other issues. That's correct. So it's like you think if it's not just what you eating is very important. I don't want to underscore that. Correct. Because like say, if you eating crazy, you need to talk to him real quick, and he need to work with you seriously on that one. That's right. That's not what I'm saying. But you can be eating right. But if you smoking or you drinking, even if not, you drinking the wrong things, right? You listening to the wrong things. Yes, you listening to toxic. That's all a part of making your body toxic. That's right, because you're consuming on every level. See, you're consuming with your eyes, you're consuming with your ears, you're consuming with your mouth, you're consuming with your skin, the largest organ on the body. Yep. Most people rub on enough chemicals to kill them every day. We're death by fumes. They have something called a parfume or a perfume. If you read it on the bottom, it'll say eau de toilette. It's telling you it's toilet water. Yep. That's French for toilet water. Toilet water. And if you drink a spoonful of cologne or perfume, you'll have to rush you to the hospital. You should be using nothing but like essential oils, natural oils, which are not toxic. So the same, we deal with all of that. Holistic. The reason why we spell it with a W, we get that question a lot.
And I was going to bring that around. So go ahead.
The WHOLE, because I want you to recognize you're part of a whole. Instead of boring a whole, HOLE is to remove material, leaving a vacuum or void. WHOLE is to put you back and recognize that you are part of the whole already. You can't not be in creation. You can't not be part of God. Like the term you used earlier. Yep. No, you don't. How would you exist if quote unquote God is all things and exists everywhere, the omnipotent, omniscient? Then where are you going to hang out if not in God? You can't exist outside of that. So our job is to show you already part of the complete package. The light is already in you. You just have to what? get the dirt out the way. Imagine yourself as a super duper high beam headlamp, and you just have mud covering you. So the reason you're not shining brightly down the road of life, because you have dirt in the way. You get the dirt out the way. The light never dimmed. It's always been 1 million lumens under there. It's never stopped being 1 million lumens. You just have mud covering your headlamps, right? Mud is in your kidney, your brain, your lungs, your heart, your colon, your veins. Once you learn to remove that, and in your aura, you have mud in your spirit, you have crazy information in your brain. I bring the brainwashing. I'm here to brainwash you. Now let that sink in. I'm here to brainwash you because you have brain clogged going on. You're brain clogged right now. You got brain fog. You got sluggishness. You got sleep. You can't dream. Remember your dreams. So I'm crazy like that.
Need washing.
Yes.
That's not a bad thing.
Yes, I'm here to actually wash the whole brain. Do you know your brain sit in a tub of water? One of the reasons I got into the Kangen water business in 2008 is to bring the best water to you, not only in your home, we clean your home with the water. We have enough toxins and chemicals under our kitchen sink and in our bathroom to kill probably 5,000 people right now. The average home in America has enough chemicals in the house to kill thousands of people. A lot of them have skull and crossbones on them. Say danger. Don't use this. Don't inhale this. Don't mix this. You know, we're using bleach, Clorox bleach kills brain cells. They say don't mix with ammonia. The average person is using that to scrub their toilet and their tub right now. They're mixing bleach and ammonia together. They're mopping their floors with the chemical. With the Kangen machine, it makes water you can mop your floor with. You can put your naked baby down on the floor to crawl around. Don't have to worry about getting a rash. No chemicals. This is one of the reasons I brought that technology to the people. I sought out the different technologies and the different information that would be beneficial to society, and I promote those. All right. So that's not just the herbal products,
So
the water. Yes, this is a Kangen.
About this right here.
Correct.
For my listening
audience. That's right. This is made by a machine, which is Japanese technology. It's an actual medical device in Japan. But here, we say all we can say is it provides different types of water that you can use not only in your body, but in your home. And this is a 9.5 pH that I happen to have here. But you have different pHs. If you're familiar with the pH scale, it goes from 0 to 14. 7 is neutral. Anything below 7 is considered acidic. Everything above 7 is alkaline. And your blood has to maintain a pH above 7 because you are a magnoelectric biochemical battery, this body. So if the blood goes down below 7, becomes acidic, it cannot allow the spirit, which is a charge, to dwell within. So this is when you get a stroke. If the body becomes so acidic, the spirit has to leave the body. They call that a stroke. Stroke of luck. So because you have to understand this is how the body functions. You remember back in the day when you had a car battery, you'd be able to open up both sides of the battery. When the battery couldn't hold the charge, you had to pour more water in one side.
I remember that.
Okay, that's literally how the body works. The average human body is supposed to be 75% water if it's fully hydrated. Most people, of course, are not fully hydrated. The earth is covered in 75% water. Do you see the one-to-one relationship? You're supposed to have a one-on-one relationship with the one. That same ratio. So when you get the right amount of water in you, you become alkaline. Everything starts flowing, all right? And then you can now maintain a full charge so the divine power that you are can dwell richly within you, because this is the temple, as they say. This is the temple. That's why they call the side of your head the temple, because the knowledge is supposed to dwell within the temple of your wise dome. They call it wisdom, but when you deal with wise dome, when you operate from a wise dome, you become the solar man. They say solar man was the wisest man.
What we got here, Mike? Is somebody chiming in? What we have a short chat. I think we got some.
On StreamYard, we have a brother's been commenting actually. You want me to read some of it?
Sure. Do you have any questions?
Okay, so this is from earlier. When you're talking about the third eye, he commented saying third eye equals the eye of Heru, equals the eye of the mind, equals the eye of the truth, equals the eye of insight, equals the eye of enlightenment.
Excellent.
And when you're talking about feeding yourself through the mouth, he talked about how chemicals, bad air, and bad food can affect the third eye.
Yes, we covered that earlier. Excellent.
And he talked about the exoteric versus the esoteric knowledge and how the third eye can be opened up by herbal science.
That's correct.
and he commented on how the education system creates slaves without them knowing they're actually slaves to the system.
We talked about that. The misinformation, all right? So they start you from young. The key is they want to get you, they say, from the cradle to the grave. You'll hear that term because that creates long-term consumerism. That also creates indoctrination. You're here for a purpose. You're supposed to be focusing on what's my purpose and how to manifest that purpose. You have what they call a destiny. But instead, in the ancient Kemetic word, ka means spirit. All right? Ra, you talked about Heru, which part of it means hero. Out of the word Heru comes a hero. All right? A hero is something they serve in New York as a sandwich. You eat it. You can go buy a hero or a hoagie. See the words?
Yep.
Right? So you got a hoagie or a hobo or a hippie. Or you can eat a hoagie. Now, why am I connecting that? Because you're supposed to be led by the spirit, the insight. It's supposed to be led by spirit. Instead, they teach you to put spirit behind you. So instead of people going, what's your mission statement? What's your purpose on planet Earth? And help you to do that, they'll say, you need to be focused on a career. You put ka to the rear. Career. You're not supposed to have no career. You're supposed to actually have ka up front. Ka, Ka means spirit in ancient Medonetter or hieroglyphics. Your spirit's supposed to be up front, not to the back. They take you to teach you to put the spirit in the back. So you have a career now. Ka to the rear. And that's the key here. That's why you're chasing something you never fulfill.
Lifetime
degree after degree, this, that, and the other. But why are you even here? Why did you come to Earth? And who's going to guide you with that? So that's the key. We provide that beautiful piece of insight. So then there's nothing wrong with having quote unquote degrees of knowledge, yes, but in alignment with. So let's say you were supposed to come here to be an electronic person. You're supposed to make your mark in electronics communication, right? And your whole time you're busy studying rocks. And it's like, man, I could make some beautiful walls. I've made some beautiful, decorative walls. I can make waterfalls and everything, but it's just not. And even though you may be making good, quote unquote, money at it, it's hard getting out of bed every morning. You still don't feel fulfilled. And other people on the outside makes you go, what's wrong with this guy? He's the greatest rock maker in town. He should be happy. Everybody celebrate. He gets rock awards every year. He should be just rocking on. And he's like, man, I don't know. I keep reading magazines about electronic, because that's really what he came to do. But if he never got led the right way in the beginning he always had this underlying interest to be into electronics or music. That's your passion. In indigenous cultures, they didn't try to give you no career. The elders would read with you and figure you out early. They would give you different experiences and watch how you excelled and what you gravitated to. It's kind of like when I went to music class. They would take you to the music room and they have all the instruments in there. And they would just say, play. They didn't tell you anything. Just watch what he's going to do over the next couple months. You fool around with the drum, the trombone, the clarinet. You start playing the violin. After a while, we notice he only hangs out with those two instruments. Now we give him formal lessons in those. He naturally selected that. No teacher came in and go, here, you're going to be a drummer. No. They just watched how you play with the instrument. That's how you're actually supposed to be raised. That's how I was just let to be free and explore. And they realized he always liked nature. He was always into herbs and land and animals. I talked to my plants growing up. They thought I was crazy, but my cucumbers grew longer than everybody else. My okras were delicious. They're like, man, where'd you get these? I come home from school, couldn't wait to take off my uniform. Correct. I hug trees. I'm that crazy, still that crazy child. I walk barefoot on the grass right up to now. I have my daughter. We're out in the backyard, barefoot in the sun, doing jumping jacks, drinking our smoothies, stay connected to the earth. That's one of the things that's kept me, despite all the challenges, the things I've been through, the cities I've lived in, despite all the electronic bombardment that I've been through, to keep me grounded. So it's in divine alignment. These are the same solutions you're going to get when you come to me. I am approaching it from a holistic approach, divinely guided, to bring the skills I have from the halls I've walked, not only as a farmer, someone grow up there, but as an engineer, one who's been in the halls of the top companies, the Lockheed Martins, the Boeings, the Grummans, the Sikorsky, Pratt & Whitneys, and all the airplanes and spacecraft I've designed, and the technology I've seen that these companies have, and the things that I've seen that you don't know that they don't put out in the regular public. I did a presentation at Tree Mass years ago warning them about 5G. At the time, people were like, why is he talking about towers and microwave towers? And years before they understood what was coming. I had that vision to look ahead and see what was happening. Just like when I was on the streets in 1987 in Brooklyn, warning them not to drink the 40 ounce. When I landed in New York in January 9th, 1987, there was a young, phenomenal film director named Spike Lee. And he took some of his funds because he was conscious, and he was resurrecting this line dealing with our ancestors called the 40 Acres line. He had a clothing line called 40 Acres because we were promised 40 acres and a mule we never got. So he named his company 40 Acres. And he decided to bring back the Negro League jerseys. So when I was in high school in Brooklyn, people used to wear the Negro League jerseys. So, and we would say, as New Yorkers would say, where's my 40, shorty?
40.
Hey, where's the 40 acres? So instead of giving them 40 acres, they mocked them and gave them a 40 ounce. I was there when the 40 ounce came out. And I was warning everyone in Crown Heights. My mom sent me all over the place to pay bills for her, run errands, and take care of business from I was 14. And so I was able to travel to all the boroughs and all the neighborhoods and see what the so-called Hasidic Jews and the Italians and the Irish and everyone, and they weren't selling that in none of their neighborhoods. So I came back to Crown Heights, right, Kings County, and told them, stop drinking that. They're like, why? Because they don't sell that anywhere else. This is targeting you for a reason. And I broke down the science on all the bottles, and the people were like, how did you know this? I said, because my third eye's open. I'm coming in from living in the woods and the hills with no electricity for 7 years, and then landing in the most lit city at that time, New York City. So the 80 ounce, the 40 ounce, they had the names. One was called Shit's Malt Liquor. Shit's Malt Liquor. I told him, I said, you need to stop eating that right there.
Full of bull.
And one was called Colt 45. I remember talking to one of the so-called gangsters on the street. I said, brother, come on now. You're on the street. You don't know what a Colt 45 is? So what happens when you put the Colt 45 to your mouth? You're committing ritual suicide because that's a gun. Another one's called an 8-ball. I said, you never played pool in your life? What happened when you sink the 8-ball? Game's over. Here you are sinking the 8-ball. Game's over. The other one's called OE 800. I said, you don't know what happened in jolly old England in the 800s? We went back up into Europe, the Moors, just to bring them back out of the dark ages. 7-Eleven. And they're still saying, oh, thank heaven from 7-Eleven. Do you know that's why the slogan of 7-Eleven is, oh, thank heaven? When you pull into a 7-Eleven next time, look at the logo and the colors. That's based on the Moors going back up into Europe in 7-Eleven. Bringing medicine, vitamin C to get rid of scurvy, bringing them higher knowledge and getting them out the dark ages.
Thank you.
For 7-Eleven. That's why the 7-Elevens. And the flag that they used was a checkerboard flag on a red background. And back in the day, when I came to Daytona in 91, the 7-Elevens used to always be right next to Checkers. Checkers Burgers. Right across the street, there'd be a 7-Eleven on this corner and a Checkers Burger on this.
Oh, well. Okay, so again, yes, sir.
I wanted to say something real fast.
Okay.
I remember when I had a cold and I went to take medicine in my house. I looked at the back of one of the medicines and I seen that, because I'm still learning more and more about ingredients, but I seen it had red 40 in it. I was like, this can't be good. You know, I'm sick, and this is a sore throat medicine. You know, I'm trying to get better. This is going to make me worse.
That's right. That's right. All of the fake ingredients, the red number this, blue number that, these are been synthesized from their natural sources. And in some cases, they use a natural source. Could be a bug. You know, they grind up beetles and get that purple juice out of it. They've been doing that from ancient times. And that's where the character Beetlejuice comes from. That's actually Beetlejuice and using some of the coloring. So just because they say the word natural also don't mean you should be eating it.
Yeah.
Because they collect roadkill every day and you don't have a clue half of what they're doing with that stuff.
They natural is a trick.
Yeah. So you want to be in nature that's meant for you, for our composition as man and woman. So that is the key. But yes, you're right, my brother. Your third eye was already opening up to realize the vision of what they're giving you. And you're like, something's not wrong right here. We have to go back to the original way of eating, the original way of living. It's going to take some time. That's fine. But it's worth the effort because we have another generation we have to prepare for. A lot of what I do is not for me. It's for my two daughters, the children, the community I belong to, and the greater world at large. Okay? Because if we don't care about each other and be our brothers and sisters keepers, then who do we expect to do that?
That's true.
So we just have to, as I say, walk the talk.
Okay.
And I remember you mentioned the 40s, because see, I'm old enough to remember that too when they came out. Oh my God, it was on every corner in our
Yes.
neighborhood.
Yes.
And they had us out there drinking 40s.
Yes.
And when I left and went and found myself and came back 10 years later,
Mhm.
those drinking them 40s was on the same corner,
Right.
drinking them same 40s, but in horrible.
Yes.
I saw one jump up in the concrete and dive because he thought he was diving into a lake or body of water on
Wow.
concrete,
Wow. Yeah.
drinking 40s.
Yes. A lot of the young men I warned in New York, 10 years later when I went back, a lot of them had prostate cancers, all kinds of diseases. They've been, some of them, as you said, run around. And this is a way in which they give us the bullets to shoot ourselves, because they can easily compartmentalize what goes into different neighborhoods. We are under the naivete, like I say, naive because we believe. If you keep believing, you'll soon be leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Stop believing and come into the know. Even the holy books tell you, don't be a believer, become a knower. Find the right information and apply it. So those who kept believing that they were doing the right things, that everything was equal across the border, no, it's not. I've traveled different areas. They don't sell certain things. When they had White Castles, these little greasy rectangular things that clog up your heart, in that neighborhood, the other neighborhoods didn't have White Castles. They had stuff like Boston Market rotisserie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wait a minute, how come they don't have White Castles in this neighborhood? As I traveled, and I ended up downtown Brooklyn. I had to go pay bills for my mom. And I remember the first time there was a Foot Locker there in downtown Brooklyn. Right on the sidewalk was the Hebrew Israelite Brothers. And they had a beautiful rug out with all the books because, they recognized information was valuable, so they wouldn't put it on the ground. It was on a very beautiful, ornate rug. And I bought my first book from them, 87. That book was called From Babylon to Timbuktu. I read that at 14.
At 14.
That's the kind of reading level I was.
You definitely that old soul.
I said, that little yellow book's calling me. He says, you want it? I said, yeah, I'm going to buy that one. That was my first book I bought from him. Downtown A&S Plaza, there was in front of a Foot Locker. I finished running errands for my mom. I would stop and listen to them whenever I was down there for about half an hour. And this is the kind of things that I gravitated to. This kind of teaching at that time. So I always found an African bookshop. Baba Fritz, who was here. I remember going to his bookshop when he was on Flatbush Avenue in New York before moving to Florida. Flatbush Junction. A lot of people come from there, in that area. So we have to seek. It says, knock and it shall be open unto you. Seek and ye shall find. Seek information is going to help free you and your family. And they're also going to bring us together and make the world a better place. That's what our mission statement is about with Third Eye Vision Unlimited. And that's what we want to bring. That's what we bring and have been bringing way back on the streets in 1987 in Brooklyn.
All right. Again, we here with our brother Jah-son. To our listening audience, if you want to chime in, ask a question, you can raise your hand. We will recognize you, and you can come right in and ask that question. I'm gonna get a little. See, when we talk about, let's see how to ask this question, because I want you to be able to answer it in a way that to make sure nobody trying to. And I got some questions that's chiming in too.
Excellent.
At the same
Sure.
time. So because we talk about herbal, right? Mm-hmm. We talk about natural remedies, right? I know when we talk about, and I'm just saying in a term that most people know, weed. Mm-hmm. What is THC?
Right. Tetrahydrocannabinols.
Yeah. What is your opinion about that, and then kind of share some light on what your opinion may be on the drugs that so-called natural drugs that a lot of our youth are consuming or taking today. What's your opinion on that?
Excellent. So if the natural, what they would call weed or herb or marijuana, is good in many medicinal ways. The greatest way to use it, of course, is dealing in the natural way, raw, uncooked, cold press. You have oils that you can make from it. They also have the sister product, which is called hemp, which doesn't have the THC. You can all that also can be used not only for its seeds. Every part of that plant's useful, not just the fiber to make cloth. One of the strongest cloth you can have is hemp fiber. Hemp rope resists salt water. Most of the oceans and ships, sails and masts were made from hemp rope. So at one time, hemp was actually mandated by the United States government to be planted by farmers as part of national defense and security. If you had a farm, you had to put 10% of hemp aside for the government because that's how they maintained the Navy. All the rope on the ships and all the sails and the masts were all made from hemp. So that's how important it was. But then later, we have a paper baron comes along, decide he's going to make paper from pulp that gets Congress to change the laws to demonize hemp. So hemp went from being a national staple to now, they almost outlawed it. It's to the point where most of the hemp seeds you buy now and the hemp powder, it comes to you from Canada. It's imported from Canada. They don't even, within these 48 states, they don't even grow hemp on that level to sustain. So when you go to these health stores and you see hemp powder that you can put in your smoothies and hemp seeds that you can sprinkle, most of that will say Canada on the back. You can look at the source. So we've made another country rich, just supplying us with something that we want to demonize within these 48 states. Now, as far as marijuana, it is a herb that also can deal with the pineal organ or the hypothalamus, the pituitary. Most of it has been compromised. I've been warning most people. I grew up around what they call Rastafarians, and they would not let anything be contaminated. They don't deal with any kind of major corporation messing with anything they're using. So I've been warning people from, once again, on the streets. Most of that's been compromised. It's had chemicals laced in it. That's why people are having adverse reactions. Also, it naturally combines with any hard metals in the body and also toxins. Your food, when the Rastafarians brought the use of marijuana back to the West, because they helped popularize it, they went and studied all the high priests in Ethiopia and different parts of the world. Most of those people abstain from, they have to take what they call a vow. He's referred to it as the Nazarite vow in certain books. So they abstain from a lot of things. The same things in India. Some of the Indians brought it to the island we call Jamaica, and that version grew on the Ganges River, which is where the term ganja comes from. That's actually a Hindu term, Sanskrit. So you have ganja from the Ganges. You have marijuana from the South America, marijuana. You have one called sensimilia. You have different names based on the regions that it came from. But the key is that the high priests would abstain from alcohol usage. They did not eat animal flesh. Most of them you'll find they're strict, what we call vegans. That way, when the herb enters their body, it's not connected to the toxins because marijuana will naturally take the toxins up to your brain. So instead of you going to a pure, what they call high experience or an enlightenment, you'll end up with some other process, demented. So it was only used by the priests or people who had taken vows to live a certain way. Not what they've now done is promoting it to everybody, regardless of what you eat and drinking. People are combining with alcohol. No, none of that. All that was it's going to wreck creation. I'm phonetic spirit. They wreck in creation. Wreck creation. Words. I said words speak to me very different. Yeah, they've now flipped it over and they wreck creation.
So you see words.
I very in high D. In multicolor, high technical definition.
Definition.
I see and I speak high definition. Because when I speak, people see what I say. That's a gift where I can speak it and you'll picture it.
That's a natural gift you have.
Correct. I came with that. I speak in high definition.
Just so you said when you were 7, 14, you didn't know a damn, but see, that was perfection and foundation that the Most High put in you then.
Correct. Yeah.
You may didn't know it, but it was there.
Yes. And I later would study numerology and recognize I was already living numerology from the foremost numerologist called Dr. Lord Strayhorn. Lord Strayhorn has a book called Numbers and You. It's a must-have, along with the 7 divine laws, the Kabbalion. But they call it a Kabbalion, which my spirit corrects as phonetic spirits is called a Kibalayan. The key to the Ba of the lion. Ba means house or vessel. So they're giving you the keys to the house to become your own lion, to become your own sovereign, your ruler, to get back your courage. That's what the lion was looking for, right? Courage. As he was stepping on the yellow bricks on the road to the wizard. The wizard of ounce, not Oz. There's no word called Oz. You measure metals in ounce, OZ. It's a unit of measure. You measure in coins, gold.
talk about the
The
truth.
yellow brick road, yeah.
But
So
they color it.
all of that is you. You are Alice. Lost. Don't know you in Kansas.
Mm.
You're in Wonder land. You wondering what land you're in. That's why you keep saying what's happening. Because you don't know what's happening. Everybody you meet, what's happening?
What's happening?
Person that knows what's happening still don't ask that. You don't meet nobody asking what's happening because you already know what's happening. So they take the very things you shouldn't be saying and they popularize them. So everybody walking around, what's happening? That means you're lost. You don't know who you are, where you are, or what you are, and whose you are. Who do you belong to? So that's how we would answer that. It's just to give you the insight there.
Okay. We supposed to have taken a commercial break, but we in our community, I would say news portion of it, and we're gonna keep it going. I got a question. Let me see here what this question is.
Sure.
Can you provide examples of clients who you have worked with, and how have you helped them achieve their wellness goals?
Yes, we have several people that we've worked with that's posted information. I have videos on my YouTube channel. We have living testimonies from others. Some people try to get them to do videos or to do comments, but because of the nature of the issues they have, I have to respect their privacy.
That's true.
One of the things that allows me to even keep doing what I've been doing and volunteering in this way is because they know the integrity of the man I am. And that when people come to me with private, personal issues, they know it's not going to end up on social media unless they choose to share that. A lot of times I would let them choose to share that.
Right.
When someone comes to you with information, sometimes they don't even want their own family members to know that they're dealing with a cancer situation or they're dealing with a STD or something like that, right? They're embarrassed already. So we help them with those issues and they know that they have confidence that it's going to stay right there.
Keep confidential.
So some things we have people willing to talk about, other things they're not,
Right.
they don't. I've asked, hey, you want to give a testimony? You want to do a short 30-second video? They're like, nope, I'm not putting that on my page, or I'm not giving it to you to put on your page. So
Well,
we
thank
do,
you.
correct. But thank you for helping out with that issue. So we do have we have testimonies and others that we've helped over.
I can add on to that.
Yes.
With a question or something else. Being like a Reiki master practitioner, and if that's something you're doing, I know that is another part of being able to in healing. Right. Now, people do massages, but it's different.
Correct. Yeah.
And can you share anything about your experience, your technique, or enlighten us a little bit more?
On the Reiki?
Yes.
Yeah. So Reiki.
Before we go there, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and we're gonna come right back and want you to answer that question.
Excellent. Look forward to it.
Hi, my name is Joe, and I'm an enrolled agent with Scott & Associates accounting firm. As you can see, we work diligently for our clients, making sure that all of their tax and accounting needs are met. Come take a walk with me.
At Scott & Associates, we pride ourselves in providing exceptional service to our clients. We firmly stand behind all of the work that we do. However, we have also put measures in place to protect our clients should something ever go wrong.
To schedule a tax appointment for your business or personal need, text or call us today at 321-754-1360. And remember, you can always count on Scott.
Hey, shalom and blessings, everyone. Author Jeremiah here. I am the author of The Spiritual Significance of a Name, Define Your Purpose. And I want to share something with you today. It's very important. As we go throughout life, we understand certain things to be challenging for us, right? But life can be a beautiful experience when we discover our purpose. Because then, and only then, do we discover that we have a true reason to live. Won't you go to the NOYstore.com and pick up a copy of my book today, The Spiritual Significance of a Name. That's the NOYstore.com. healthwellnessjah.com. You'll thank me later. Until next time, peace and prosperity.
What do all these people have in common besides a beautiful smile, healthy teeth, and gums? They all use Zodi toothpaste. Zodi toothpaste is made with all natural ingredients. Zodi toothpaste is fortified with moringa and baking soda. Zodi toothpaste is suds-free, making it an excellent choice for kids. All natural, fortified, and suds-free. Get yours today at noystore.com.
All right, we are back, and we left off. Minister, you was asking a question. Do you want to repeat that question?
Yes, it was about the technique, and if those who are not familiar with Reiki,
Yes.
and I know people think about massages, but it's not the same. Or can you enlighten us?
Yes, that's correct. Great question. Be more than happy to. So Reiki is like a Japanese term dealing with Ra or Ki. The Ra or Rei is dealing with light, like vision. So the Ra Ri Ro Rum is an ancient term that deals with the different levels of radiation energy within you, as well as the planet, as well as from the sun. So Ra Ki is dealing with a light key. It's almost like you have a key you're unlocking whatever the blockages may be. So it's a practice that deals with touch less. You can touch, but it's not requiring you to touch. It's energy that flows through you. When you are tuned to certain frequencies, which goes back to your life purpose, you can actually allow energy naturally that flows through you to flow through you to someone. So Reiki is your guiding energy, but you're not the source of the energy, and you're not also trying to control the outcome. You're being a conduit. So like I say, I'm a conduit, so I can do it. I can do it.
Okay.
I can do it. All right. I can do it. So I allow things to flow through me to you, just like a prism allows the light to flow through to the other side. So you want to, you be prismatic. Some say pragmatic, but that is how the definition of the word Reiki is: divine energy healing. You can project. I have clients who are distance. I can send Reiki to them at a distance. They don't even have to be in the same room.
Okay.
Because we're divinely connected. Once again,
that I did not know. I thought it was always one-on-one.
No, it's the one through the one.
Okay.
Because I'll give you an example. I'm connected this way and with a lot of my family members and so forth. Have you ever thought of somebody and the phone rang immediately?
Yes.
Boom.
Yeah.
How close were they to you?
Close.
Right.
They weren't physically close.
Where they could have been what?
Yeah, other side of town, another state.
There we go. So there's a divine connection already. All this cellular technology is based on our cellular technology, because your cells, and you're a cell tower beaming out information from all of your cells, and everything is connected on what I call the great net. Some people call it the God net, but the Allah verse, the multiverse. You're already connected with that, so that already exists. So you don't need a physical device. Back in the day, they would say your ears would ring when people talk about you. So wow, so you already have a ringing and an answering going on. That sounds like a cell phone to me.
Didn't know.
Your cells
what it was.
were phoning somebody else, and they could pick it up with their cells. We are cellular Wi-Fi fidelity. Why fidelity is called Wi-Fi. We're wireless fidelity. We're already talking to each other. If you're standing in line, you can tell when somebody's looking at the back of your head. You can feel it, right? That's happened to all of us. All of us had that.
Yep.
I just feel like somebody's, and you turn around and there they are. But how did you know they were watching you from over there? That's because your aura, your energy field was already over there. They're already in your field of vision. You don't see with your eyes. You actually see with your mind. So wherever your mind, because that's where you create your visions. That's where your image nation is built. You can build a nation of images. When they put those two words together, they call it imagination. But it's image nation. Spell it. you'll see image and nation.
Nation.
You can imagine a whole nation. You can image a nation in your mind, and then you spiritually put your spiritual energy behind it, and then you put your physical energy in the physical, and now you manifest it, because you need to mind, spirit, and body, all three, to make things happen here on this earth plane.
All right, so we're coming up on the end of the show. Like, wow.
That's it. Time's fun when you're having fun.
I'm telling you,
said the frog.
So this is what we're gonna do. We normally come at the point where we sign off. As you sign off, I want you to also kind of talk a little bit about your products and how people can follow you, find you, etc.
Excellent. Thank you. Some of the products we have on the table here, these are some of the natural herbalceuticals they can find at thirdeyevisionsUnlimited.com. That's the holistic portal that I volunteer my services through. We have natural products for whether it's a woman, balancing the female reproductive system, the hormone. This is an AG7. We have products that are for those who want to get rid of worms and parasites in their body. And if you notice all of our products, they can read about this online. It tells you the actual instructions and the breakdown of each natural herb that's in it or food.
Awesome.
So, for example, this one has black walnut. We have garlic, wormwood, clove, hyssop, and cayenne in a special combination. In this one, dealing with the worms and parasites, because we want all of them to be gone. So we named this one Worms Be Gone.
Be gone.
A lot of people don't realize their issues is because they have worms and parasites in their body, in their organs. It may sound a little gross, but they've actually gone into people's heads doing surgery for tumors only to find out there's a ball of worms spinning around in there.
So this is like a this one bottle here, and I want everybody to be able to see it. Is this like what, a 30-day here, and then like
33? If you're doing 3 a day, that'd be 33 days. There's 100 capsules in each of these products.
Okay.
Oh, there's
100 vegan.
Okay.
Yes, small but powerful, because we don't use binders or fillers. Other industries, they would take this and make a bottle about 4 times the size, and they charge you 4 times the money too, because you think, oh, I'm getting so much. No, you're getting a lot of cornstarch and a bunch of other wood pulp and cardboard that they actually put in. And I'm not joking. They did a study and tell you that chicken nuggets are 60% not meat. So if 60% of the chicken nugget is not meat, you should be asking,
what's the other 40%?
So people talk about, oh, that's meat. I don't want to eat that. It ain't meat. You're not eating meat.
You're not eating meat anyhow.
You're not
You
eating
eating
meat.
cardboard, wood pulp, and a bunch of other things.
You should be more happy to eat
What
plants.
is the 60%?
So these are just showing different products. If you're trying to, we also have one of the only companies that have multivitamins, multi-minerals based on your sign. I'm holding the Gemini right here. So we have 12 for the 12 zodiacs, because your astrological makeup has a lot to do with your diet. We bring that information back to you to show you how that's tied to how you interact with the earth. So the services, they can sign up for consultations online at our website, Third Eye Visions Unlimited. We use the elements. We have a light your fire, refreshing air. There's different tabs they can click on to sign up for a consultation. That would be a good starting position. We have a couple consultation if they're looking for instructions on how to deal with their children. They may have a sick child, or they're trying to get pregnant with fertility, or they're trying to find a natural midwife or a doula. We work with Jenny Joseph and others here at the JJ Way. She was the actual midwife for my daughter back in 2011. She's now Time Magazine Women of the Year, and she's one of the only sisters in the whole country, melanated woman, to have her own midwifery school and doula school right there in Winter Garden.
In Winter Garden, I think I met her. She's awesome.
Yes, and she advocates for women. As you know, our women, quote unquote, get unalived, given birth greater than any other people on the planet. She's been an advocate for that. She's gone as far as the Vatican to speak on that issue. And as a mid-husband myself, I delivered my second daughter at home, straight into my arms on our own bed. So I've delivered my own baby and taught breastfeeding for over 25 years and dealing with women. We deal with both sides, the men and the women. And so we have all of those. We have a fibroids kit, a mothers to be kit. We deal with what they call lupus buster kit. A lot of these are on the website. They can utilize the product and services, and we ship all over the world. So that would be the ultimate way. They can also follow us on our social media pages, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And we're launching our Patreon. So they'll have a link for shortly here. So they can also, for those who want to have a private setting where we can speak more openly, and also be guided without having certain shutdowns, restrictions.
and I noticed too, just on a point, I see you got the onks, but is it brass?
No, these are all copper. Copper is very,
copper,
as
I mean,
we
brass,
refer to, right,
copper.
we refer to as the
Copper
copper colored people. at one
people.
time, right?
Yep.
So copper is very important element.
One of the
because
minerals we missing.
That's right. And also when you bring it in your aura, in your environment, it helps you block negative frequencies in radiation. So especially now when we're inundated with all these microwaves and we have our cell phones and different things, we need to know that's a mini microwave. And having copper on you and around you in your environment is very important. Also can be used to magnify other things. So we have copper onks, which we make with our jeweler Royal Immortal in Atlanta. You see, I've been wearing this one since 2009. I had this made in 2009 when I was in Little 5 Points at that time doing work downstairs WRFG in Atlanta, for those who are familiar with Little 5 Points.
All right.
Right along Moorland Avenue.
Okay.
You see, the names, people are here in Orlando. I'm on Live Talk Orlando.
Yes, sir.
And I've been reading the land and sharing with people. When you get off I-4, the interstate that goes diagonally across the state, you get off downtown and you intersect the 50% line. They call it State Road 50. 50% of Florida is above it, 50% of Florida is below it. And it runs from sea to shining sea. When you start heading west, you're going to come to Edgewater. We used to be right there by the edge of the water before they took that away. And you enter the area they call Paramore. By where the what? More. And then that's where they took the land to create the magic. I remember when they stole the first piece of land to put the first magic arena. And they brought a copper guy here. His name was Penny Hardaway.
Westmoreland.
Before they had the shack attack, there was a Penny, the Hardaway. And then you start heading further. You're going to come to Hanson and Hanson. Right? That's the street. You're going to come to Cordova. You're going to come to Seminole. These are all some of the names they gave us. We're the old seamen. So they call them the Seaman Old. And we speak the Old Cree. They call us Creole.
Yep.
And then you come to Westmoreland.
Yep.
And then you cross that and you have Eelwood.
Yep.
The Elohim, in the woods. The Eelwood is the last road before you cross the tracks of the Orange Blossom Trail. That it's laid out for you. And I read that. So that third eye allows me to read as I travel along. I see all the crumbs that's been left behind by the ancestors. The same way the oldest city they call Eatonville. There's a road that runs right by Eatonville, by the cemetery. It's called Wymore. Why don't you know who you are? Come on over to the cemetery, take a look at these names. See who used to live here. The oldest incorporated city, as they try to say, in Central Florida.
And they want to take that. They're trying to hide it, rather.
That's right. It's hidden. Once you learn to, once again, decalcify the pineal, cleanse the body, you too will be able to see all of this. Why? Because the divine light is already in you. It's never dimmed. It just has dirt in the way. We just have to get the dirt.
Clean those windshields.
That's right. The divine light is in you, and that's the greatest message I want people to take away. You have a divine light in you. You came here with a divine purpose. Find that purpose, learn to clean it up, and get on up and live it up.
Yeah, you can help with that.
That's right. And we're here to help with that.
Excellent.
But you got to get somebody who know how to clean them windshields.
That's right.
Some see your mechanism is stuck and it's broke. If you don't have the tools and you don't have the know-how, come to someone who knows how to turn it on.
That's right.
And then wipe all that mud away.
That's right.
Let your light shine. That's Brother Jah-son. I put the website in the chat.
Yes.
The short version, 3rdevu.com.
That's right.
So if anybody want to find it, it's right there in the chat.
Yes. Third Eye Visions Unlimited. Experience the unlimited you.
Go ahead, Minister. You can go ahead and sign off.
Yeah, no, and I'm saying that's why our word of the day was vision, and it's about being able to see. So today, please open up your eye and let your light shine.
Yes, sir. And I just want to thank you, my brother, for coming on to the show. We really do appreciate you coming in and allowing us to embrace your presence.
Thank you for the same. Thank you for having me. Thank you for your listening audience, whether now or in the future.
Yes, sir.
And I look forward to more.
Yes, sir.
Sharing more enlightenment and just sharing more solutions with the people. Let them know the solutions are here.
Yes.
I know sometimes we get thinking everything is bleak. The solutions are here. Okay. The Creator has given us everything we need. We just have to realize that, get those pieces in our place, in our home, in our environment, and start acting on them and watch the beautiful things that will come from it.
Yes, indeed. And I want to thank our listening audience, those that chimed in, that just view the show, that always support the show. We want to thank you, and I'm gonna leave you with this here. True wellness comes from the harmonious balance of body, mind, and spirit, where the light of spiritual health illuminates the path to holistic well-being. And from the host, I want to say peace and prosperity. And from Live Talk, we are out. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
For live.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
This live.
Are you
talk.
ready?
Live
Are you
talk.
ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
Live talk.
Thank you for watching Live Talk. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Talk Orlando. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hit on the notification button so that you can see more videos like this. You want to join the show? Email us at livetalkorl@gmail.com. You can also follow the host on Facebook and Instagram at Arthur Jeremiah. And visit the website, thenoystore.com, to pick up your copy of The Spiritual Significance of a Name. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Are you ready?
For live.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Are you ready?
This live.
Are you
talk.
ready?